Fabrica, and welcome to another session of Let's Talk Taíno. I'm your host, Priscilla Colon, co-founder and creative here at Casarito, where our mission is to promote the Taíno language and culture. I had to shoot this video in a couple of different parts. It's one of my favorite topics about how Avatar included a lot of the original Taíno culture. And today we're going to continue with part 2. But before I launch into today's topic, I want to thank all of you for subscribing. We had a wonderful shout out on TikTok by someone I didn't even know. She contacted me, found our channel on YouTube, and loved it. And then she shared it with all of you. And I have seen the number of subscriptions skyrocket. It literally brings me to tears because I feel the same yearning that all of you feel to learn the Taíno language and really revive our culture. A lot of you are writing and saying that for the first time you feel seen and heard, and that truly warms my heart. That means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. So without further ado, let's continue on with the topic of how the Avatar movie portrayed our Taíno ancestors, and here you're going to find some of the most eye-opening things. So let's get on with the show. So one thing in the movie that you kind of may have chalked up to Hollywood magic was bioluminescence, and that is that kind of glow-in-the-dark quality that a lot of the plants and animals and even the Na'vi themselves had. So I'm not saying that Taínos glowed in the dark, but bioluminescence, or the ability to produce light, can be found all over the Caribbean, and it's one of the coolest features. If you ever want to go explore bioluminescence bays, you can find a lot of them in the Cayman Islands. Cool fact, Cayman is actually from the Taíno word caimán, which means crocodile. You can also find bioluminescent bays in Jamaica, Yamayeka, and in Puerto Rico, Boriquén. Now, in these bioluminescent bays, what happens is that there are little plankton in the water. And as you disturb the water, you move through it, the creatures start producing the light. So you get these really cool colors in the water. So that whole thing about like stepping around at night and things are lighting up, it actually does happen. It happens in many places around the world, but it is a really cool feature of the Caribbean. Speaking of bioluminescence, the Taíno had a very special relationship with fireflies. Now, fireflies are a bioluminescent creature. They produce their own light. So in Taíno, the word for light is cuyo, and the word for firefly is cocuyo. And they use this creature in amazing ways. So they would gather a bunch of cocuyo and they would release them in a house where there were a lot of mosquitoes. And because fireflies eat the mosquitoes, it was basically acting as a mosquito repellent. The other thing they did was they would gather them up and use cocuyo, the fireflies, as light to light their homes at night so they can continue working at night. So one important thing that you may have noticed about the Na'vi was their relationship with trees. So trees were very important to them, and they had such a huge respect for trees. So they had their home tree, their tree of souls, and the tree of voices. And the trees allowed them to communicate with their creator, Ewa, and also allowed them to communicate with their past ancestors. This was actually one of the most eye-opening for me when I started researching Taíno culture, was how similar Taínos thought about their spirituality and their connection with trees and nature as a whole. Now, the word for tree in Taíno is yabisi. And the reason why trees were important is because, according to Taíno spirituality, trees inhabit all three realms. The branches extend up to the spirit world above. This is the world of the creator. The trunk is the part of the realm that is with us, the living. And the roots of the tree extend downward toward the land of past or dead ancestors. So a tree serves as a communicator between all three realms. Taíno's relationship with the trees are so sacred that they would literally ask a tree if it could be cut down and what it should be used for. They truly believe that trees have the souls of dead ancestors, so they wouldn't go around chopping down trees nilly-willy. So every tree was sacred to the Taínos, but there was one tree above all that was thought to be the daughter of the creator. So that is the ceiba tree. In English, it's called the silk cotton tree. The creator for the Taínos is called Yaya. The word Ya means spirit, and Yaya can mean supreme spirit, spirit of all spirits, or great spirit. And you know that our Native American cousins in the North use the word great spirit for the creator. And she's also thought to be the handmaiden or the helper of Atabey. And Atabey, sometimes called Atabeira, means mother of the waters. She is the mother of all of us humans, and she's the female personification of Yaya. So there is a ceiba tree on Vieques Island, Vieques, for those of you who saw my previous video, that is known to be at least 400 or more years old. The Spanish chroniclers around the time of Christopher Columbus's arrival even wrote about this old tree. So you can imagine how ancient this sacred tree is. So this brings me to the end of my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want you to go back and watch Avatar again and start picking out those similarities between the Navi and the Taíno. While we went through all of those comparisons, we also learned new Taíno words, so let's check them out. Cuyo, light. Cocuyo, firefly. Ya, spirit. Yaya, great spirit or supreme spirit. Yabisi, tree. Ceiba, silk cotton tree. Atabey, mother of the waters. I hope that you learned a little bit more about our Taíno ancestors, that you learned about their spirituality, their deep respect for nature as a whole, and their love of Mother Earth. So, thank you again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.